Hey guys, happy Wellness Wednesday. Something a little bit different today. We're going to be running through the I Am Fabulous protocol. So excited to be sharing this with you. If you haven't come across I Am Fabulous yet, it's an amazing book from Desiree Mangandog, and you can find her on Facebook. I'm absolutely in love with this book, these blends, this way of looking at the oils and looking at the sort of physical, emotional, spiritual body and oil connection. It's really fascinating and really, really powerful. So as you jump on, please say hello, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. And I'd actually really love to know whether it was the emotional side of the oils or the physical side of the oils that first got your interest, and whether that's changed over time. I know a lot of people get their oils perhaps to support their kids, and it might be something physical with their kids, perhaps, using easy air to support sniffles and coughs and whatever else. But over time, we start to realize that there's so many more ways that we can use these beautiful oils, and they're working on us on multiple levels. So absolutely fascinating stuff. So please say hello and let me know whether it's the physical or the emotional aspects of the oils that you're most drawn to. And if you've got an amazing story to share, please share that as well. That would be awesome. So I Am Fabulous. So the author of this book, her name is Desiree Mangandog, and she is an acupuncturist. So her background is in sort of traditional Chinese medicine, classical 5 elements acupuncture is what she calls it. And if you know anything about acupuncture, I've had really fantastic results with acupuncture for a back problem, and also when I was pregnant. Amazing. And the idea in acupuncture is we want to keep the chi, the energy, the life force flowing freely through our bodies. We want that to keep moving, because when it stops, if there's a blockage, that's when we get stagnation, that's when we get dis-ease, that's when we get pain, that's when things can go slightly pear-shaped. So we want this energy, this life force to be flowing really freely through our body. And so Desiree was using her acupuncture to do that for her clients and for her family. And she realized that the oils can actually do the same thing. The oils are able to get that chi and that life force flowing as well, which is fascinating. So when we're talking about emotional use of the oils, we generally talk about aromatic use. We're talking about inhaling the oils. We know that we get a really quick result. We can reset our mood when we're just breathing in the oils. This is a completely different approach. So when you're doing this protocol, you don't want to be diffusing any oils. It is all about the oils themselves going on your body and going on specific points. So the idea of what her protocol is using the oils on specific acupuncture points, which is fascinating. I love this stuff. So using the oils to keep this chi flowing, using on specific points to affect other parts of the body, and looking at doing this basically to support optimum physical and emotional health. So we know that our emotional health affects everything. It's not just our emotions. We can't separate our emotions from the rest of our body. We know that when we're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted, like it has a physical effect on our body. You might be feeling stressed, and that will manifest as a headache or a backache or fatigue, or when you're nervous you get an upset stomach. There's a physical connection. So all of this is linked. We can't just look at emotions on their own and physical on their own. It is all intertwined. And this is really important because we need emotional maturity to be able to go through life with ease, basically. And emotional maturity is about being able to respond to what's happening in our lives rather than reacting, rather than having something happen and us react out of anger or defensiveness. Imagine being able to have whatever happens in your life every day. We always have stuff that comes up. Imagine being able to respond with grace and an open mind, an open heart, with resilience. Wouldn't it feel nicer to be able to just kind of float and deal with things as they come along without getting massively triggered by things? All of that is it's part of emotional maturity, and we're not taught that in schools. In school we're taught to sit down and to be quiet. Don't cry, don't get upset, just follow the rules, sit down, be quiet, learn what you're supposed to learn, and keep going. Nothing is taught about emotions, how to deal with emotions, and we don't always get a proper, well-rounded, balanced view of emotional maturity from our families either. We're all, families can be quite dysfunctional. Every family is dysfunctional in its own way. So we're looking at using emotional wellness to help us become the best versions of ourselves. And one thing that I've found, which I guess is why I've been so drawn to this in particular, I don't know if this if this resonates for you as well, but it's actually really hard to change your thinking about something. So our brains like to be really efficient. They like to think the same things over and over and over again. So if there are thoughts about yourself that you've been thinking your entire life, 10, 15, 20 years, however long it is, it's really, really hard to shift those thoughts. And I think this is the reason why things like affirmations don't always work, because you could be saying something to yourself in the mirror, saying, I'm beautiful, I'm wealthy, whatever it happens to be, but there's always going to be a part of your brain that's going, no, you're not, because you don't believe. You don't believe those affirmations. Those thoughts don't ring true. So the idea of using the oils, and particularly using them on these acupuncture points, is that we want to interrupt those patterns, those ingrained patterns, so that everything flows freely again without getting stuck and blocked. And I really love the analogy of an old vinyl record. So if you've played a record, it's got these grooves on there, you drop it on and it plays. It runs on that track. And it's the same with our thought patterns. If we've been thinking the same thing over and over again for years, that is what our brain wants to do, because that's more comfortable. That thought pattern is ingrained. It's just like running on automatic pilot. So what we want to do is scratch that record. We want to use the oils to interrupt that existing pattern and be able to form new thought patterns, new ways of being, new ways of thinking about ourselves, so that we can move forward and become the best version of ourselves. So very cool stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through a 10 oil protocol, which is aimed at reducing overwhelm, boosting self-esteem, boosting clarity and vision, and helping us project ourselves the way that we want to, projecting our authentic selves with confidence. We're also going to be at the end running through some recommendations on how to navigate this beautiful book. So I have been using one of her blends. It's called Momentum. And this is before I got the book. So I've been using this blend for at least 6 months before I got the book. And I realized afterwards that Momentum is actually the final step. It's actually the last blend that we would want to be using. So I'm going back to basics with all of you, and I'm starting again, and I'm doing the protocol and moving forward, and I'm going to do it in order this time. So if you don't have all of the oils, that's okay. There are no substitutes. That is one thing Desiree has said. If you don't have those particular oils, you just need to get them. Basically, there are no substitutes. And I'll run through what the 10 oils are before we jump in. As you're doing this, if you're going to follow along with me and you've got all the oils that I shared in the post last night, make sure you have plenty of water with you. Same as when you're getting any sort of treatment, a massage, acupuncture, you want to have a lot of water so you can flush everything out of your body. And a couple of notes as well before we get started. So you want to be diluting your oils. So one of the oils we're going to use today is Oregano. Obviously a very hot oil. You don't want to be putting that neat on your skin. So always dilute them. If you want to kind of get the idea of this and then do it on your own later, you'll have your fractionated coconut oil and you can just dilute them appropriately and use them as you go. I'm not going to share the tear pad with you guys today because that's her resource. We need to buy that. So if I was running a class, and I am going to be running this as an in-person workshop in the new year, in January sometime. So if you're local and you're interested in this, so I'm in Brisbane, by the way, if you're local, you might want to come along and do this in person, especially if you don't have all the oils yet, and really powerful experience to be doing it with other people. And everything kind of gets magnified when there's a group of you doing something like this. It's really beautiful. Yes, I think we'll jump in. So the 10 oils that you will need for this protocol, I have them next to me. So it is tea tree, oregano, cypress, fennel, bergamot, grapefruit, Douglas fir, spearmint, ginger, and cinnamon. So sounds like a lot. This is a protocol that you don't have to do a lot. So Desiree says just do it once if you need to. I have done it once before. I'm going to do it once again, not live, but I'll be doing this later on after the video, I think. But the idea is that we do this once and then we start following the blends in the recommended sequence in her book. And so she's given this a lot of thought. You can see when you're reading the book and you follow through how everything just flows one after the other, after the other, after the other. Yes, it's very, very interesting, and the blends smell amazing, I have to say. So beautiful blends. All right, so the first step, first part of the puzzle is about eliminating overwhelm. And if you're watching this and you're someone who feels overwhelmed, you can give me a little hands up emoji. I put 2 hands up. That's something that I deal with, dealing with overwhelm. So this is really important. This is the first step, because to make a change, we have to feel like we've got some clear direction. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's incredibly difficult even to take one little step, because we can't even think about what to do. So the first oil that we're going to use is tea tree. So tea tree is the oil of energetic boundaries. So this is an oil that you would want to use when you are cleansing attachments to things. So this, if you've got attachments to people, to circumstances, to things, anything that's not serving you, not serving the life that you want to have, then you can use tea tree to help cleanse those attachments. So tea tree is going to be applied on the back of the neck, on your throat, on your heart, and it's not your literal heart, it is the center of your chest. So on the, where the ribs meet in between the breasts is like the heart space. So you put some on there, and you put some around your belly button. So 4 spots. So when you're doing this at home, you can get a little bit of your fractionated coconut oil. If you've got the tea tree touch, that would be perfect. So you're going to get your tea tree oil and you're going to put it in those spots and just give it a little massage. So back of the neck, throat, heart, and around the belly button. So oil of energetic boundary. So this is always the first one to reach for when you're doing any sort of energy work, energy clearing. So even if you're just decluttering, that's a good one to start with. So that is tea tree. That's our first oil. Okay, so the next one is oregano. Super powerful oil. You definitely want to dilute this one. So again, if you have the oregano touch, that would be perfect. If you don't, you definitely want to dilute it in some fractionated coconut oil. So oregano is the oil of humility and non-attachment. So you can kind of see the theme going here with the oils that have been chosen and what their emotional properties are. So oregano is about helping you step outside yourself, helping you get some perspective on your life, so you can actually step back and have a look and see what needs to change in order for you to move forward and get the results that you want. So it's about creating an open mind and the flexibility to make some changes. So oregano is going to go right on the top of your head. So part your hair, get a little bit right on the top of your head, rub it in. So that's our second step. We've done tea tree and now oregano. So the third oil for eliminating overwhelm is beautiful cypress. So if you grab cypress in Monday's BOGO, fantastic. You've now got cypress to use for this protocol. I love cypress. I use it a lot, and now that it's in here, I'm paying more attention to cypress. So with all of these oils, tea tree, for example, tea tree is typically an oil I clean with. So it's in the sprays and the products that I make to clean the toilet. It's just not that exciting. But to be able to step it up and to use it in this way, very, very cool. All right, so cypress is the oil of motion and flow. And I shared a lot of information about how to use cypress on Monday. Here, we're talking about moving stagnation. So if you're stuck in old ways of thinking, old ways of reacting to certain people and to situations, this is the oil that you'd want to bring out to help move all of that, basically. So if you feel like you're always fighting life rather than being able to just go with the flow, cypress is the one that you want to turn to. So you're going to have your diluted cypress and you're going to apply that on the inside creases of your elbows. So dilute it, massage it on inside of both elbows. So all of these points on the arms, so the wrists and the inside of the elbows, are all connected with the chest space in terms of acupuncture. So the lungs, the heart, so everything you're putting down there is going to be affecting the chest. Yes, so tea tree, oregano, and cypress. So those are our 3 oils in the protocol for eliminating overwhelm. So cypress. So next section is on boosting self-esteem, and I think we can all use a little bit of that. There are 3 oils here to help us boost self-esteem, and it's a very logical next step. So first we're eliminating the overwhelm, clearing all the clutter, all the stuff that's kind of blocking us from taking any steps forward. Next step is boosting self-esteem, and we need that. We need to feel confident within ourselves before we can take action. So the first oil that we're going to use is fennel. So again, fennel is an oil typically that I would use for digestive issues. It's a fantastic one. I know we're getting off track here, but digestin is too strong for young children, but fennel is a fantastic alternative. So that's the kind of thing that I use fennel for normally. So this is taking it to a whole new level. So fennel is the oil of responsibility. So fennel is about connecting you with your own individual needs. It's giving you permission, basically, to step forward and do the things that actually matter to you. Do the things that will move you forward, that make your life better. So it's letting go of unnecessary responsibility. So if you're someone who says yes to far too many things, you're feeling overcommitted and you're doing things that actually aren't that important to you just out of obligation, fennel is a great oil to support with that. So with fennel, you're going to be putting it on the inside of your wrist creases. So you can have that diluted, drop it on one wrist, and then rub your wrists together. And I really love the smell of fennel. Beautiful oil. So oil of responsibility. So the next 2 oils, when we're talking about confidence, these 2 probably won't be a surprise, but it's bergamot and grapefruit. So both of these oils are going to be applied on the solar plexus, which is on the midline of the body, a few inches above your belly button, basically. So it's the base of the ribs. It's like the soft point just underneath your ribs, right in the center of your body. So that's your solar plexus. So bergamot is the oil of self-acceptance. Grapefruit is the oil of honoring the body. So both of these oils are all about showing yourself some love. So learning how to love yourself unconditionally, which is quite a foreign concept to most women. We kind of get these messages from a very young age that we aren't enough as we are, that we need to look a certain way. We need to have a certain brand of clothes. We need to wear the perfume. Our body needs to look a certain size, fit the certain size jeans in order to have value. And obviously that is completely untrue. You know, we all have value purely because of the fact that we exist. It's our humanness that gives us value. So this is about showing yourself some love. It's about beginning to honor who you are, listening to your own needs and seeing that you really are more than enough. For whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve, for the life that you want to live, you are more than enough. And it's self-acceptance that can then lead to self-confidence, because you can't be confident if you don't accept who you are. You can't be confident. You can't share that confidence with other people. So bergamot and grapefruit, diluted and massaged on the solar plexus. All right, so the next one is about promoting clarity and vision. So again, we're following this sequence. So first thing is we're eliminating overwhelm. The next step is about increasing our self-confidence. And now that we're feeling more confident about ourselves, we want to have some clear direction. So the first oil that we're going to use is Douglas fir. I love this oil. I love all of the tree oils. All of the firs really speak to me. This one is just divine. So if you haven't tried Douglas fir, it's highly, highly recommend popping that on your LRP order. So Douglas fir is the oil of generational wisdom. So this is an oil that you're going to put on the back of your neck. Again, diluted, massaged on the back of your neck. So this oil is about breaking those patterns that have held you back. So whether they're destructive habits, whether it's old ways of thinking that have kind of come from your family, from the messages that you got growing up that have become part of you just because that's what was ingrained. Like we take on these messages from our family, from our childhood, and if we don't interrupt those patterns, then we go on believing that year after year after year, and that thought pattern is then ingrained. So this oil is about breaking those habits, breaking those patterns, brightening and opening up your mind, allowing for divine wisdom and guidance so that you can see very clearly what your new path is and what your vision is for yourself. The next oil, very closely related, is spearmint. Beautiful spearmint. This is one that I use a lot. So spearmint is the oil of confident speech. So before I do a class, particularly a large group of people, particularly if they're people that I don't know at all, I'm not a confident public speaker. I'm getting better, and I'm certainly passionate about what I'm talking about, but it definitely doesn't come naturally to stand up in front of a group of people. So spearmint and lavender is a combination that I use very, very regularly. And I love that I can now take it one step further and use it in this way too. So the oil of confident speech, this is one that you're going to dilute and put again right on the very top of your head. Part your hair, get it on your scalp, dilute it, get it on your scalp, and just massage it in. So this oil, the oil of confident speech, is about clearing away the thoughts that are confusing and distracting you. So the thoughts that are taking you in the opposite direction from what you actually want to think about yourself and what you actually want to think is possible for yourself and for your life. So it's about clarity, and it's about being able to share your message, your vision with other people with sincerity, with clarity, and with confidence. So that's why it works so well. I've been using it on my throat for that purpose, but I think I'll put the lavender on my throat and I'll put the spearmint up on the top of my head before my classes from now on. So clarity, vision, sincerity, confidence, sharing our message with other people. Beautiful, beautiful oil. So Douglas fir and spearmint are the two oils for clarity and vision. And our last section is about learning how to project ourselves out in the world. And there are two oils here. We're going to use them together, and that is ginger and cinnamon. So again, two oils that I use a lot, but not for this purpose. So it's fascinating to be able to take our use of these oils. I very often use these in cooking, in making blends like my chai tea blend, my chai latte blend, to have this other use and to really think about how these oils can support us on a deeper level is amazing. So ginger, both ginger and cinnamon are quite hot oils, cinnamon especially. We definitely want to be diluting these. So Desiree's recommendation is to do 5 drops of each in a 5 ml roller topped up with fractionated coconut oil. These are both going to be applied on the solar plexus. So again, that midline just at the bottom of your ribs, a few inches above your belly button. So solar plexus and inside of the wrist. So you've got your little roller bottle, you roll it on your wrists, rub your wrists together. So ginger is the oil of empowerment. Cinnamon is actually the oil of sexual harmony. So we're kind of moving from the beginning. So eliminating overwhelm, boosting self-confidence, giving ourselves some clarity and some vision. And now we're learning how to actually put ourselves out there. So these two oils together are about filling us with excitement and passion and enthusiasm for what we want to achieve. So moving us forward. We've got the vision, but now we actually need to do it. We need to put ourselves out there. So it's about anchoring into that desire, whatever that desire is for the life that we want to have. These are the two oils that are going to help us bring that to fruition and actually move forward into that. So this is a combination that creates movement and inspiration. It increases confidence and courage so that there's nothing that can stand in your way. Doesn't matter what other people will say, doesn't matter what other people will think. There's no obstacle that can hold you back from what you want to achieve. So that is the 10-step protocol. So there's 10 beautiful oils used in that sequence on specific points in the body to get the energy, the chi flowing through our body, removing that stagnation, those old ways of thinking and being in the world, and being able to move forward with clear direction and with confidence. And I think we could all use a little bit of that. I know I can. So once you've done this protocol, and like I said earlier, this is something that you kind of just do once or twice. It's not something you do regularly. Once you've done that, then you want to move on to some of the blends that are recommended in the beautiful I Am Fabulous book. And I'm just going to run through what that sequence is. So as I said before too, I'm not going to be sharing the tear pad sheets with you guys. I normally do cheat sheets, but I'm not going to today because it's not mine to share. But I'll run through this. So if you want, you don't need to take notes on this. If you just Google I Am Fabulous tear pad, you will see some copies of that online, and you'll be able to refresh your memory and read over what I'm saying anyway. But for the first 2 to 4 weeks, so each of these, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's got 5 steps basically from here. And typically you'd be applying these blends one after the other, each for around 2 to 4 weeks. So you might be feeling, if you've started the protocol, you've done one of the blends, maybe you're feeling amazing after just 1 week and you're ready to move on to the next step. That's totally fine. She said that her average for most people is kind of 2 to 4 weeks. So that's what I'm aiming at doing. So for the first 2 to 4 weeks after you've done the protocol, there are 2 blends you can choose from. One is called Release Your Fears, and the other one is called Bye Bye Baggage. So when you read through the descriptions in the book, you'll get a really clear sense of which one is most appropriate for you. I'm going to go with Release Your Fears. And I'll just tell you which oils are in that one. Turn to the page. So this is a blend that has cardamom, juniper berry, lemon, basil, black pepper, lime, cinnamon, cedarwood, and Hawaiian sandalwood. Amazing. So beautiful. So once you've done one of those for 2 to 4 weeks, you would move on to the next one. And she's recommending either I Love Myself or Soothe the Soul. Again, when you read through the description, you'll have a really clear idea of which one is right for you. Or you could do one after the other if you wanted to. After that, it's I Am Free or On My Path. After that is the signature I Am Fabulous blend for 2 to 4 weeks. And then you finish up with either the Manifestors blend or Momentum, which is the amazing blend that I've been using for months and months without realizing that I was jumping in at the end of the process. So I'm going back to the start with all of you now. And then I get to look forward to enjoying that Momentum blend at the end because it really is beautiful. Makes me feel amazing. So if you don't have your oils yet, and there's a lot of oils that we talked about here, some of them are in the Home Essentials kit, so the tea tree and the oregano. If you don't have oils yet and you want to explore your options for getting started and you'd like my support, just send me a private message through Facebook and we can have a chat about your options, the best place to start for you, and what you're hoping to achieve with your oils, whether it's emotional support or physical support, whether it's just for you or whether you've got a family that you're looking to support in a more natural way. There are oils for everybody and every budget. So you'll also find ordering instructions on my Facebook page. So if you know what you want, if you've been on the fence for a while, you know what you want, you're ready to go, you can jump on and order through there. I'll be notified when you purchase and I'll be in touch with a beautiful little email with lots of resources to get you started. There'll be a welcome pack of goodies that I'll pop in the post for you, and we will also book in a time for a wellness consult, which is a one-on-one consultation, either in person if you're local to me in Brisbane, or we jump onto Zoom. So it's once you've got your oils, that's the next step to help you get really familiar and comfortable with them and confident using the oils that you've just bought, basically. So if you've gotten value from today's class, I know we've run through it quite quickly, but obviously it'll be here for you to watch the replay so you can go back, grab your oils tonight or tomorrow or whenever you get around to it. You can grab your oils, take your time and run through the protocol yourself. So if you've gotten value from today's class, please give this video a like. Feel free to tag any friends who need to hear this. Share it out. We want to get this message of emotional support, emotional wellness out to as many people as we can. It's such valuable information. I will be back same time next Wednesday. I do a live Facebook class every Wednesday at 12. If you have a suggestion for a topic, if there's something in particular that you'd love to learn about, just send me a message or leave a comment below and let me know and I can add it onto the schedule. I have lots of ideas, but if there's something that's more relevant to you guys at the moment, please let me know and I will get onto it and I'll include it in one of the shows coming up. So I think I will leave it there. Loads of information. So from here, you want to be following the protocol yourself, if you have all these oils, you can order the oils that you're missing so you can do the protocol properly in the correct sequence. If you don't have oils yet, please get in touch. So have a beautiful afternoon, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed today's class, and I will see you at the same time next Wednesday. See you guys.